Hey, it's Dr. P, your communication coach. I think we all know how it feels to be shamed for making a suggestion or making a mistake. But as leaders, what's the best way to give constructive feedback without using shame? In this video, I'm going to teach you 4 steps for giving shame free constructive feedback. Years ago, I worked for a quirky artist, and as he would create, he would throw his trash on the floor, and it was my job to pick it up. Well, one day I had a brilliant idea. I said, what if I brought a trash can over and I put it right underneath your hand? So anytime you wanted to throw away your trash, it would go right into the trash can, and then I can do more valuable things for you. He looked at me and said, no, that's why I hired you, Heather. Not only did he shame me for my idea, but he didn't even get my name right because it's Heidi, not Heather. Do you think I ever told him one of my brilliant ideas again? No, because shame kills innovation. Do you think I stayed engaged in that job? No, because shame kills engagement. And do you think I even stayed at that job very long? No, because shame kills retention. Have you ever been shamed for suggesting something because somebody didn't like your suggestion? Or maybe you made a mistake on the job? I have a video here on my channel that now has over 40,000 views, and maybe even has more by the time you see this. The title of that video is How to Overcome the Fear of Making a Mistake at Work. Why do you think that topic hits such a nerve? Well, I think it is because every one of us is afraid of being shamed by someone who is correcting us for having made a mistake. Shame feels terrible. And we feel enough of it already for making the mistake in the first place without somebody shaming us even more. But is there a way a leader can give constructive feedback to an employee for making a mistake without shaming them? I argue there is. And that's exactly what I teach as a communication coach, how to use shame-free communication strategies to strengthen your relationships. My advice to you, if you're a leader who wants to be an eagle communicator, is to use the SOAR model. SOAR is an acronym for 4 steps that we can use to give shame-free constructive feedback. So after I worked for the quirky artist, I went on to work for another company, and I was in charge of a team of people. We were under a tight deadline, and I didn't think we were going to make it. I actually started barking at my team and shaming them, trying to get them to feel the same pressure I felt. I found out I was making a big mistake, and my boss, Mickey, had the responsibility to correct me for it. Mickey was a great boss, and unknowingly, he used what I now call the SOAR model. So I'm going to use him as my example to explain to you the best way to give shame-free constructive feedback. Before you SOAR, try to get on that person's eye level. Mickey came into my office and actually got down on his knees next to my desk so that he wouldn't be standing above me when he told me what I was doing wrong. And I really appreciated that. And it helped me to receive what he had to say. It's actually pretty miraculous that someone like me, who is conflict averse, was able to receive his feedback and not feel shamed or afraid. And I think it all started with him having a posture of humility when he approached me. The first step, the S in SOAR, is to start with value. He said this, I really appreciate your desire for excellence, Heidi. In that moment, I felt like he saw me and he believed that my motives were good. So think of something about that person that you can start with that shows you value them, that you believe the best about them in some way. And then Mickey moved on to the O in SOAR. He offered his story, which were his observations. He said, I'm starting to hear some reports of your team getting burned out because of your expectations and the way you're communicating them. Some of your team has even said they're thinking about quitting. And I know you don't want that to happen. He was right. Of course, I certainly didn't want that to happen. Mickey then moved on to the A, which is to ask curious questions. He asked, so how do you think we might be able to encourage excellence in your team without burning them out? I appreciated that he didn't hang me out to dry, but he showed me in the way he asked the question that he was my solution partner for my success. I thought about it and said, I probably haven't been taking into consideration that they have other responsibilities outside of my project. Maybe I could communicate more appreciation, find ways to use positivity to encourage them instead of shaming them. But I can't really lighten up on the deadline because it's coming whether we like it or not. Mickey then used the R in SOAR, which is to respond with empathy. He said, that makes sense, and I can understand how you would feel that way. Maybe you could ask them what they need from you to be able to meet the deadline. I agreed with him, and I was grateful for his suggestion. SOAR, S, start with value. O, offer your story or your observations. A, ask curious questions. And R, respond with empathy. In the end, I felt like we were moving forward together, collaborating on solutions. I felt like he still supported me, and I appreciated that he never shamed me in the way he gave constructive feedback. In comparison with the quirky artist I used to work for who shamed me, I continued to be innovative, engaged, and I stayed at that job for many years. Learning how to give shame-free, constructive feedback is a quality of great leadership. I've had the privilege of coaching Fortune 500 staff teams and teaching practical communication tools to leaders in many different industries. If you would like your leaders or your staff team to go through my 8-session masterclass called the Eagle Communicator, which includes the SOAR model, click the link below in the description. And for more communication tips, please subscribe.